Hello, happy Sunday on Ambiguity. I'm sorry, it's been a real long time here for me. It's been like a couple weeks, but it's Taylor. This week we're talking about like how to be active and like putting positivity back into the trans community via like activism and daily activism. And I think that's like super relevant this week with everything going on in the United States, especially with the election. And I'm not going to talk very briefly. I'm going to talk like that's going to be the extent I talk about it besides like vague, because I know it's a very like tough conversation to have right now, and we're all processing it in many different ways, particularly as queer and trans people, um, and how that affects us in our daily lives when everything comes into play. But this is just going to be like daily activism and what we could do for like positivity and stuff like that, like I said. um, so I feel like the key thing I think about when I'm like, okay, what's like a tip to give? You don't have to be super involved in activism to be like trans enough, quote unquote. And like, there's this huge thing of like this conversation of what if I want to be trans? Like, what if I'm trans and I don't want to do activism? Then like, where does that put me in this thing? And it's like, okay, that's real and valid, and don't feel like you have to be open and out and everywhere as a trans person. Like, I'm kind of working through that myself, not like trying to be stealth or anything, but like, but just like, don't put too much on yourself to like be super out, super proud. Like, it's super like it's activism on its own to like educate people. I prefer educate like activism through education. So these are like conversations you could have with people in your life that you catch them saying something, you catch like you correct that, not necessarily even being a trans thing, but if for example you're hearing like racial slurs and you're, for example me, like a white person, being an ally to those communities is like super, it's all activism in its own way, and education is the most one of the most powerful things. So never stop teaching, but also if you need to stop teaching because it's affecting you negatively, then stop. Your your own care needs to be number one, and community care can be second. But it's like as long as you're taking care of yourself and keeping yourself top priority, that's really all that matters in the long run. Because like you can't put your full self into activism unless you're able and you have that full self to give. You know what I mean? Um, and then just generally, it, I feel like get spreading the positivity back. Self-love campaigns are amazing. Like I love like I know on Tumblr like I've done this like just like selfies and just like selfie party. I've done it on Ambiguity even on the Tumblr. So I think that's like super huge. I'm sorry, my voice is like gone right now. Um, ugh, sorry. But I think that's kind of it. Just like take things at your own pace. You don't have to be a super activist if you're just coming out, because you're just fitting into your own mold, and your mold's not going to be what everyone else thinks is your mold. And also, you're going to explain your mold so many times to different people that it's like, okay. So it's like, explain your own way, explain that people are different, and that's really the extent of what you can do besides just like showing up and supporting others' movements that are going on and using the privilege you hold in the most effective way possible where you're okay with it, but also where you're like, okay, I have this ability to give, I'm gonna do it. But also not forcing yourself to do it, you know? So, yeah, that's the topic. This week's, I mean, like, I'm gonna just do like updates. I've passed a year on T. I mean, 2 years on T. It's two. Um, so that video is on my Instagram. I have pictures on my Tumblr. That was like October, end of October. I probably did post, honestly. No, I didn't. But And then, am I trying to think of other things? I'm going home on Friday because I haven't gone home all semester. So that's really cool. The semester's ending soon, so that's a lot of work I'm getting done in like the next month, and it's kind of panicky. But I'm surviving. Also, just trying to stay afloat and figure out what I need from like this topic. Like, what do I need from the community? What can I provide to the community? What can I give myself? Because like self-care is super important to me, and I need to prioritize that in my life and kind of work with that. But yeah, that's just gonna round out the video for the week. I don't know if I'll be posting on Sunday, just because being home, but I'm probably gonna make a video earlier in the week before I leave campus, post it on the channel for Sunday. But yeah, I hope you all are doing well. Feel free to message me, Gentle Masculinity, on Tumblr. Take a look at Instagram, but like Tumblr is probably the best. Comment below if you have anything you want me to catch up on. And I will see you next weekish, maybe. Okay, bye.